Hi everyone, Corey Thorne, spiritual intuitive guide, empowerment and life coach. Um, Today I woke up with a sense of having to really talk about how we how we project love and how we romanticize the human world or the human life, and how we romanticize the spiritual life, and the journey that we're here to take, and why we are here, and the purpose, and finding our purpose, and how much money how much money and commercial investments have been put into kind of pushing us to find a purpose, to discover why we are here, and that big push that's being placed upon us to be more and to do more, and that, if you conquer this or if you conquer that, and it's become such a world and such a place that we're coming from, that it's actually become pressure and a competition to become the spiritual being, or to connect to our spirit, or to go find your spirit. And your spirit was never lost. And then we've really romanticized of how we should be as a spiritual being, or how we should be as even a human being. And we've created this image of, we have to create this perfect picture for our children. We have to dress them a certain way. They have to look a certain way to go into public. And we started in a time of, I remember being a kid, and you'd go out and you'd play in the dirt and the mud all day, and you have rubber boots and pants that didn't match, and who cares what you wore for a shirt? It didn't really matter. It didn't matter if it was designer. It didn't matter where you bought it from. But because we've become so caught up in such a vast, bigger world, is that we romanticize about this images that we need to create, whether it's a spiritual being, whether it's a human being, no matter what it is that we've created that fantasy around being that, and around having to be at a certain point and a certain level, or at a certain age we should look this way, or we should behave a certain way, and that we should have this dealt with, and we shouldn't deal with this no more, and all these images, and that we should put on that face for the world, and create this face. So if we're going to speak from a place of being a spiritual teacher, then we should act this certain way, or we should be this certain way. And it's like, and we're all experienced the pressure of it somewhere along the line. And it's like, so when I woke this morning, it was like, let's start letting go of the pressure, as if we're taking a balloon and we're putting little tiny pinholes, not holes that hurt. We're not ripping it open. We're not breaking it open. Let's take the pressure off. Let's release the pressure that sits around the heart, around the lungs, around the stomach area. Find us coming from a place that we're seeing more and more anxiety show up. We're seeing stomach problems and inflammation, and shoulder issues, neck problems, of that being pressurized, that we're pressured into being. And you're noticing small kids having more and more problems in the health wise of different things that are showing up, with them also having the pressure put on them, because us as parents are putting the pressure on them to be something, or to tell, to live a better life than we lived, because we better create a better story for them. And because we're living our stories, and we're telling our stories through our children. So it's like the pressure has just kept building up and building up. And what we're experiencing right now in the world, and what I feel we're seeing in the world right now, is we're seeing that change has to happen. And so, but instead of exploding everything, instead of breaking everything open, instead of coming from a place of F you, or anger, or I'm going to be the change, and getting so involved in that whole pushing the world to see things in your view, and your view is what matters. And it's like, let's just take the little pinholes, and the little pinholes are the love. Let's just put some love. Let's put some love into these places. Let's put love in our heart. Let's put love in our lungs. Let's put love in our stomach area. Let's put love on our shoulders. Let's put love into our friends. Let's put love into life. Let's take little pieces and start to look at them differently. And let's not be adding more air, adding more pressure. Let's just start to release some of what's been placed, and go back to some of the simplicities, but still in the same breath allowing us to grow. And we've been caught up in trying to kind of go backwards, like we need to start over, we need to go back, and we need to redo this, and we need to redo that. No, we do not need to redo anything. We don't need to redo. Redo is relive, and redo means we're going back to living in the past. We're not here to live in the past. We're here to take what we know, take the knowledge that we have gained, take all that we have, and grow into a new, healthier future that's based on love, based on kindness, based on learning what true power means, what it means to have a healthy ego, what it means to not tell old stories, to not live in the past, to not be coming from that place of where we are causing more hurt and pain, or where we are so caught up in that I'm entitled to the same thing as somebody else has. No, you get that by putting the work in. And we get a life that's real when we come from a place that's authentic to us and authentic to who we are. Who cares what other people think of what you're going to look like that day? Who cares of you? Who cares what you're, who cares how much money you have in the bank? It's about what makes you happy and what makes you content. And if it takes you working really, really hard and having millions in the bank, and that's the life that you want to live, it's yours to live. You shouldn't have to explain or feel bad for that. Or if you're, but it's what we do, and it's the love that we show and the love that we give by having that money, or by helping and showing up in the right kind of ways. Where are we showing love? Where are we giving love? Where are we being the best that we can be as a spiritual being, as a human being, as a population, as a collective, as a part of this world? Where are we being and how are we showing up is the most important thing. And in a place of kindness, and not in a place of adding more pressure on ourselves to be good people. We shouldn't have to put pressure on ourselves to be good people, or to be the best that we can be. It's like, what are we empowering, and how much money is being invested into empowering us to be? You just go be. But if you just go be, what are you not dealing with, or how much pressure are you putting on yourself to just be this powerful being, or to be strong? Sometimes we don't need to be all of that to be good, kind people in this world. It's about really knowing who you are in your essence, and that place of when you just come from a place of love and kindness exudes around you. Love and kindness will be around you. Will life happen? Life will always happen. We're going to have those moments, and they're moments of they're the darks, they're the lows, they're the human experience that we're here to experience. How we're going to show up, how we're going to be seen. I'm just looking at the butterfly flies past. How we're going to be the impact that we want to leave upon this world. What is the mark that we want to leave? And it's like we don't want to take it so far backwards that we've gone so far back that it's now we're trying to crawl our way back into a healthy future, and that we're back living, we're all hurrah living off the land. But what have we learned? What have we created? It's like we're going to really learn to move forward and love Mother Earth, love the humans, love this, love all that Mother Earth has given us, love the animals, love life. But we're going to get there by being kind and not feeling such a pressure to be placed upon us to do everything at once. Keeping it simple. My dog has a bad leg. And so I found myself once again going into my Mother Mary deck, and into the place of being connected with Spirit, and asking, what is it that we need to know? What is it right now that's showing up for us? And the biggest thing that came to me was our faith, and having a strong sense of our faith, and having a sense of, as if you were breaking yourself open by opening your arms, and by acknowledging, by opening your chest, and opening up like this, that you're giving of yourself in beautiful ways, and finding that balance of giving and receiving that's in a world right now. And knowing that, we have that sense of living in a comfortable home. A comfortable home is what houses our spirit, and that's this human body. And just trusting and following that divine connection that we have, and that intuition that you're built with, to just lead your life by the intuition, and by having a faith in something that's stronger and bigger than us. And just knowing that you coming from that place of knowing that you're housing a beautiful spirit that is not flawed, that is not hurt, that is not damaged, that is nothing but the image of God and the perfection that it needed to be, that you don't have to go find something to make that spirit better. That spirit knows exactly what it needs, exactly what it wants. Your spirit knows exactly what it needs, what it wants, and how it can show up in such a beautiful light when you just let it be, instead of trying to force it to happen and putting the pressure up on it. And so just replacing the little pinholes to let light in, and letting light into our world and light into our hearts, and being that kind and thoughtful to yourself. So it's like that place of mercy. Home and mercy are the cards that I'm having right now, that I'm pulling right now. And I'm, that kind and thoughtful towards yourself, and like noticing that as we're putting the pinholes and we're letting in that little bit of light, that we're actually opening ourselves up, and we are breaking open eventually, but you don't have to do it all at once. And it's like, just be gentle and kind. And if you're having a crappy day, have a crappy day. Whatever it may be, you need to be. Let yourself be that. But know that we don't have to challenge the world the way we are challenging the world right now, or the way that sometimes we are showing up. There's a gentle push, a gentle movement forward that's happening when you go inward, and we start with ourselves, one person at a time, and coming from there. And knowing that the Mother Goddess, the Mother Earth, is fully in charge. The universe is more in charge than we will ever possibly be. So when we stop feeling the need to be in charge, and start feeling the need that we stop feeling the need to control and to be in such control, and getting back into our faith and believing that there's more to this world than us, and that we can come from a gentler, kinder place, we are going to do much more beautiful things, and we'll be seeing the beautiful changes that will happen around us. Me, myself, have had kind of a crappy day this week. Not a crappy day, no. Let me rephrase that. No, I never had a crappy day. I had a day of almost like another awakening moment for me, of really recognizing how I really didn't really care what anyone else thought. And I know I don't care what anyone else thinks, but I just was coming from that place of, as I'm moving into a new business and walking away from the one that, was such a security to me, I felt myself having a darkness moment of feeling insecure a little bit, of what if I'm not good enough? What if I'm not able to do this? And when it all comes down to it, really, is that really the issue? It was pressure. It's the pressure that I place upon myself sometimes to kind of be enough in a world of paying attention to the outside world, or paying attention to how big and vast our world is, and what we see all around us, and we see in social media, and we see all around in friends or wherever it may be. And that just being who we are is enough, and just being kind, being good, and making sure your words and your thoughts match. And acknowledging yourself and giving yourself the moment when they do not. Then the other card that I'm pulling, and this is a card to kind of get people through the weekend, as we're coming into the new moon. And we're moving into a time of, I think this moon's in Virgo. It just feels like it's a very grounded moon. I'm not I don't do the astrology stuff, but this is what I think it's a Virgo moon. And correct me if I'm wrong, because I might be wrong, but it just feels like it's just that whole grounded, like we should be practical. We should be thinking practical stuff, and we should be doing this, and so it's like making practical decisions, making practical moves, and what's keeping us from floating high. And so we're coming into our lower parts of healing, and what's in the emotional, practical part of us that we really want to put focus into and make the changes. Is it around work? Is it around our personality traits that we've kind of created around what other people have told us, or what life has taught us? And know that setting your intentions into moving into the next, which will be an Aries full moon at the end of the month, with this fiery, the first of the zodiac. I'm an Aries. We can be a little bit stubborn. We are push sometimes. And so this is your ground. So that gives you the opportunity to sit and think quietly and peacefully about where you want to go and what you want to see. And it's about the rest. And as you move, getting ready to move into the full moon, knowing that you're ready to kind of push through into starting to make things happen a little bit more for yourself, but not in the push by control, by the push of just having faith and knowing that things are happening the way they're happening for a reason, but that you as I always say, you're never doing it alone, that it's okay to ask for help, but you're going to start seeing some messages showing up, and you're going to see some signs showing up around you and over the next few weeks of pay attention, pay attention, pay attention. And the card that comes out is the leg, a leg up. That's okay to ask for help. It's okay to ask God, the universe, the angels, the people around you, whoever it may be, for help with loved ones on the other side. And I feel like there's a lot of, I'm not sure why, but I feel like there's like another thinning in the veil, and I'm not sure exactly where that comes in or how that comes in. But I feel like there's like a opening of the spirit is coming in, and spirit is giving lots of messages, and spirit's being very clear. So if you're someone who has the gifts of being very clairvoyant or clear audio, whatever it may be, I feel like you're getting a little more information. If you're feeling like you're getting this buzzing in your ears type of thing, that's the messages that's like pay attention to what you're hearing. The messengers can be somebody that's in a human form that just stops and passes on a message to you and just say, hey, you look beautiful today, or oh, you glow today, or oh, you should be so happy with what you've done, and da da da, like those type of things. That's the messages that are being handed. They're just the messenger, and you're going to see more and more of that coming up over the next few weeks and around you. And just know that that's giving you the validations that the way you're going and the path that you're taking is heading in the right direction. And there's a lot of changes that are happening that are coming in the right direction. We've just come through the retrograde. There's been a lot of not great things happening. That's my spirit that's upstairs that my dog is barking at. This has been constant since I got here last night. All kinds of stuff happening in my house since last night. And so it just feels as if it's like you're getting the validations that you need, that, you know what, you've been through some tough times. There's been some rough roads, and I've seen it in sessions. I've seen it in people that were being, and as I was saying the other day in my other live, it's like we've been tipped upside down and we've been shaken up, and we're shaking out the old, and we're letting go of the old, and we're moving into a new direction. We're moving into a new way of thinking, a new way of moving forward, and a new way of not feeling like we need to push and struggle through life, that we're not here to suffer. We're here to enjoy, and we're here to see the light, and that we're coming from a place of the messages in the bottle, which were the messages, and that our higher power. So we're moving from, so when we come from the new moon, which feels like it's the energy that's in our lower chakras, and we're coming into the higher, it's okay to step now into that thinking process, that thinking outside the box, to the ideas, letting your ideas come to life, letting life happen, and really feeling the need to be allowing yourself to be so connected to higher self and to the messages that you were given, that they're coming to life. They're showing you new ways, they're showing you new light, and they're showing you a change and a shift in the energy that will be happening by the end of September, as we're moving into a new place, and as we go into the equinox, and as the leaves fall off the trees, know that old things have to die and decay and fertilize the ground to create and help you develop something new. And from that that goes into the underworld and into the roots to help us neutralize, help us get the nutrients that we need to be able to grow new ideas and new life, and also new beginnings. And this is a time of being very consciously aware of the house that is holding the spirit and taking good care of the human body. The human body. It's about healthy, choosing foods that have light, choosing foods that come from a place of light, that come from a place of love, and that you're not making the choices to put into yourself the unhealthy words, thoughts, foods, all of those things, and ideas, and so that you start to serve yourself. And if you're allowing somebody to take away your light and to kind of fuel you with their negative thoughts, it's a time to start to release that and let that go, so that only things that are of the highest good for you and that are serving you is what gets to come into your life as we go through this, as we go into this fall season, and as we come through the changes of the season, and you move into the new light. And notice the changes that start to happen within yourself, and start to really write down and start to create a life based on what you're seeing in yourself, that really starts to come to life when you think from a place of love and light for you, and to not to let the old step in and take and create, to have a space in this home that you're creating within yourself. Remember, your spirit is totally fine. Your spirit is okay. Your spirit is waiting for you, the human, to acknowledge that you are one already with your spirit. Oh, sorry, guys. Sorry, I don't know what happened. All this stuff started to just flip up on my screen, started to come out of nowhere. But thank you. Thank you for being with me. Thank you for always listening and joining in. And just know how important you are and how important your healthy life is, and living to your true essence. And that, give yourself 10 minutes a day, 5 minutes a day. It's whatever moments you have, to just acknowledge and to how wonderful you are, and to have gratitude, and to see the great things that you already have around you, and the wonderful life you already have. Even if you're working through some of your most difficult things, there is still some beautiful light around you. And know that we are moving from the energy of that heavier energy, and we are moving into a beautiful light. So have faith that things are changing, and that life is blessing you with some new opportunities, some new life, and that there's some good things coming. All you have to do is remember the balance that comes when we come from a place of giving and receiving. And that means giving and receiving also to yourself, and to not forget you in this growth. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, a wonderful weekend. Much love to you all. Bye-bye.